Welcome to your Daily 5 for Monday, January 13th, 2025. At least 4 or 5 months ago, I picked up a Blu ray from Vinegar Syndrome titled The Playgirls and the Vampire from 1960. And I really didn't know anything about the movie, had never heard of it. I read the basic plot synopsis of it. I thought, okay, this looks like some low-grade Italian sleaze or horror sleaze. And I thought, okay, I'll pick this up and I'll watch this at some point when I'm in the mood for that. And I basically got it. I ripped it onto my Plex server, as I do with every movie that I buy, and I kind of forgot about it. And then over the weekend, I was kind of wandering through the Plex server, and I was looking for something that I hadn't seen before and just looked a little bit different. And I came across the artwork for the movie and thought, oh yeah, I never did watch this. And so I thought, okay, this movie's not that long, a little bit over 90 minutes. Let me just take a run on this and see what it's like. And I started the movie up, and as it's going along, I'm like, okay, and I'm following it. It's a fairly basic Dracula adaptation, more or less, but shot through a low-budget Italian lens. The sleaze element is not nearly as present as I thought it would be from the title and the fact that it's a Vinegar Syndrome title, but that's not a complaint. It's just something to know going in. And for a long time, I kind of thought I had a lock on what the movie was. It felt like a Hammer film. This is just kind of your basic people get lost during a storm, end up at a castle. Castle has a vampire, and you kind of know what's going to happen from there. And then as the movie was going along, at about the midway point or so, there were a couple little things that seemed a bit different about it. And I thought, oh, okay, they're doing a slight twist on the formula. That's nice. Always good to see a little bit of stretching. And then, in about the last 20 minutes or so, the movie really started moving in, I don't want to say a vastly different direction. I don't want to oversell this film. But basically, up until the last 20 minutes, I thought the movie was okay. I wasn't sorry that I bought it, but if I'd watched it first, I wasn't sure if I would buy it. But then in that last 20 minutes, it really changed into something slightly different, but different enough that I suddenly was very happy that I bought it. Now, it's not a movie I can necessarily recommend without any reservation to anybody. I don't know that this would be a general audience appeal type of film. But there is, and I have to be careful because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who might be interested. I'll talk about it on Friday, but this is one I really don't want to, even though this is a movie that is now, oh, what are we talking, 65 years? Oh my God, is that really true? Yeah, it's 65 years old. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm aging in real time here. Anyway, it's an old movie. So I really shouldn't be worried about spoiling it, but I almost would like if anybody sees it or wants to see it, and wants to get the experience I did, it is good to go in not knowing anything, because that late in the movie change does kind of reframe the movie. It really changes the nature and the kind of tone of the movie in many ways. And for me, it really improved it, made me have kind of a, I don't want to say it's an unknown gem or anything like that. I can't, in fairness, say that. It is a low-budget film. It will probably, for a lot of people, be a little too slow and too boring. It's also in Italian, so it's subtitled, so I know some people that'll throw them off right away. But I think there's something that's kind of sweet about this movie. I think that's the best word I can come up with for it. Or charming. I don't know, whatever you want to say. But there is something that I kind of really like about it. Again, I can't say that as in, oh, this is a really great movie or it becomes great in that last 20 minutes. But it does change enough that it became unique and interesting and different. And those three things for me kind of moved it up a notch, where I'm kind of glad I have this movie now. And there's some extras that I'll probably now watch because I'm curious how this movie was made and how it came about. But again, I can't just tell anybody to watch it. I don't think it's a movie that will necessarily have broad appeal. And I think if you're a fan of Hammer horror films or older horror films, then you will probably at the very least have a good time with it. And you may actually find that you like it a little bit more than you would expected. Anybody else? No, probably not. I think this is definitely for people who are, already into kind of gothic, black and white horror films and like that older style horror film. It works for that. Even though in some ways, I don't think there's any real horror elements to it. I mean, a movie like this type struggles to actually be scary in any way. So it's more of the themes and the kind of general set dressing. But it might actually be something some people like. So again, 1960, The Playgirls and the Vampire. Look into it if you're at all interested. Might be worth a watch. Later.